welcome to another report, a Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Sam, good to see you.
It's great to be back.
And our guest, would you like to introduce our guest?
Pete Barrows from the Babe Ruth League,
Right.
president of the Babe Ruth League. We're going to hear about Babe Ruth baseball tonight, and something that I was involved with at one time, and I think it's a great thing for our kids.
Yes, it is. Yes. Certainly is. Before we get to Keith and Babe Ruth, at Spartans today, baseball this Monday, baseball at Shelbyville, and the girls' tennis is in action at Franklin County. Tuesday, the girls' tennis will be home to Hagerstown. That's a 5 o'clock start. The baseball will be home to Greenfield Central at 6. Softball plays at Pendleton Heights. The boys' golf is home to Knightstown and Shelbyville. And track and field will be in action at Hagerstown. A lot going on Tuesday. Wednesday, the baseball will be at Pendleton Heights. Thursday's an off day, probably to make up for all the rainouts that we've been having. And Friday, the girls' tennis will be at Northeastern. The softball team will be in action at Jennings County. The track and field will be at Greenfield Central. And on Saturday, boys' golf team at Batesville. The baseball will be home to Franklin County. A doubleheader with a 10 o'clock in the morning start time if you'd like to stop at Spartan Field and watch the baseball team in action. Keith, your first time to be here on TV3?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Are you the new president?
Yes, yep, new this year.
Okay,
Yep.
So how are things going? When opening day, when does it all begin?
Everything's going good right now. Opening day is coming up this Saturday.
Okay.
We will have our parade a little bit different time. We're going to do our parade at 1 o'clock. For opening games are at 2. So,
how many games will be played Saturday?
Saturday we will have 8 games, 8 total games. Saturday.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, on three fields. On 3 fields.
Okay. So, how many youngsters take part in
this year? All the leagues. The Cal Ripken is the 6 through 12, and then between them and the Babe Ruth League, the seniors, we have just right at about 260 kids.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Sam, that's a great number.
It is a great number, and it's good to see the kids get involved in the American sport, baseball,
right.
The all-American sport. And I know that soccer's kind of taken away some of that, but
right.
You guys are hanging in there and keeping the American sport alive here,
right.
I think, and I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no, it's going good. We're like I say, we're hanging in there. We're just about the same amount of kids and actually the same amount of teams as we had last year.
Good, good.
Back to the parade here. We better give the folks that are watching the parade route so they'll know where the youngsters will be going by.
Right, it's going to be the same route as last year. Line up on Central, I believe, like I said, being a little bit new, I think we go down to 9th and then go down 9th and then march on to the backside of the complex down the field and onto the Major League field, what we call the Major League field.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Right. So,
that'll be the 9th Street entrance you'll be going
right.
in, North entrance you'll
Yes.
be going in. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All the fans you hope will show up?
I hope so. I think so. I know I'm not from town. We've got a lot of my family from out of town coming in. I think usually opening day is usually one of probably the biggest days for family to come down and watch. So I think it's going to be a great day. A lot of people down there that first game.
Good.
I think it's really nice. We're gonna start out with our parade and go right into games. So hopefully that keeps more people hanging around the complex and watching the first game on the Major League field, which is 11 and 12-year-olds. We'll actually have an announcer there, the PA system going and announcing that game too. So it'll be fun.
It'll be quite an event. Hopefully, good weather.
I hope it looks like it as of right now. Yeah, yeah.
You've had some Saturdays in the past that have not been good.
Right. Yeah, I hope we have good weather.
Okay, I know the field's in good shape. You guys have worked in mid-April. You brought your shovels and rakes and
Yep.
weed eaters and cleaned things up.
Yep.
And
It's in fairly great shape. We still have a lot of work. We had a big push to get through on Saturday. But I think we're ahead of where we've maybe been in the past, what some people have said. So we had a cleanup day. I can't remember the date. It's been probably 30 days ago or so. Had a pretty good turnout. Some people with their paintbrushes. weed eaters and just spruce the place up. It looks, and we're ready to play ball. So
It is a beautiful park, and I know that we all complain about it being in the floodplain, but it seems
Right.
like every year it comes together, and I think it's something that we can be proud of. That we host a lot of tournaments over the years,
Right.
and the out of town people seem to like to come to that also.
yeah, we had a big state tournament there last year and had definitely a lot of compliments on the place for sure. So it's a shame it floods there. We had it flood. I don't know if you saw in the picture in the paper, it did flood once this year already. Back in, what was that, February, I believe.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. So Parks helping us out getting that cleaned up, and we're kind of doing the final touch up here, getting it going. But as long as we don't flood during the season, so
Takes a lot of moms and dads to get that.
that's
done.
right. Yeah, a lot of volunteers down there. Yeah.
Keith, of course, we know that there's a movement underway to relocate. What are your thoughts on moving it to the intersection of State Road 1 or State Road 1
Veterans.
and
Veterans,
Memorial
yeah,
Drive?
right out there by the soccer complex.
Right.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely a good fit out
Okay.
there. Get everything together, in the same location. Get it away from the floodplain, not from around here. We talk about the history that's been down there. I understand that, and it is a great complex. But to get it out of that worry of flooding, I was for it. I
Sure.
definitely was for it. My boys are young, so hopefully we can move forward and get it done, and that way they can play in a nice brand new complex one day, and a lot of these other kids too. I can say that it's still, buying the land was step one. They got that done. They're working with, they're making progress moving forward, working
Yes.
with some people to make that happen. I still think we're going to have probably at least, probably 3 years down here at this complex.
Yes.
So we're going to continue to put, the effort and keep it, as nice as it can be for the kids while they're playing down there. But, I've kind of heard maybe May of 2019 would be when that could possibly open up. So about 3 years. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
that'd be nice.
Well, it's not too far away as
No.
fast as it.
It'll be here before we know it.
That's right. Yeah, it should be a good location, and there'll be plenty of parking and everything for
Right.
the folks. We have 4 age divisions, or what? Talk a little bit about what happens to youngsters. Tryouts, you have to have tryouts.
Yes, we do, and it's not as much tryouts as it is just to make sure that we try to get the teams to be as fair as we can. So all the coaches get to see the kids go down and hit a few balls, field a few balls, just kind of see what where they're at in their development, and that way, as they do our draft and pick our teams, nobody is getting cut. It's just more just so we can have spread the talent level out, make some good competitive baseball down there. So yeah, we have sign up, we have the tryout, and then we pick the teams, and that was about a month ago, and then start practicing. There's 4 different age levels we're in. The coach pitch, or minor B, what we call it, coach pitch, is generally 6 to 8 years old. There's a few 5-year-olds we've actually pulled up, so we've got 5-year-olds up there playing as well. So it's one of the from what I've been told, my boys are there. It's one of the funnest leagues. And then we go on to what we call our minor A, which is the first kid pitch division. 9 and 10-year-olds out there. First chance they get to see a kid actually pitching to them. And then we go from there to what we call our majors, which is 11 and 12. That then, I can go back to minor A. We play at 46-foot pitcher mound and 60-foot bases. The majors goes up to a 50-foot pitcher's mound and 60-foot bases. And then that ends what they call the Cal Ripken League, and then we get up to Babe Ruth at the 13s, 14s, and 15s. And then that's a regulation size field from there. So
It's 90 feet between bases,
Right.
and 60
foot 6 inches, right?
from
Right.
the pitcher's mound to home plate. And what days do you play usually?
There's going to be games down there every night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We try not to
Okay.
play on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Okay.
So other than that, there'll be a game going on pretty much down there, barring any rainouts. So Mondays, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Saturdays hopefully are big days. Down there you got a lot of teams playing at the same time. So we try to get the schedules worked out that way. So
Sure.
as much baseball going on at the same time down there.
These youngsters have to have physical examinations to play, or what's required?
No, basically one of the only requirements is just birth certificate.
Okay.
Babe Ruth, we're sanctioned under Babe Ruth. They have certain cutoff days for age groups, May 1st. So if whatever age you are before May 1st is what age division you would go into. No, I mean, if a parent wants to talk to us about a physical disability, but other than that,
Okay.
no, it's just birth certificate.
Well, I know in high school, of course, they have to have
Right.
physicals before
Right.
allowed to participate in any of the sports, and I didn't know if it was the same with something like the Babe Ruth League or not.
Right. No, not in this
Okay.
league. Yeah.
This becomes a pretty good feeder system for the high school teams that throughout the years, been my experience that, seems that there's always a few of those guys that play down there by the time they get to senior league are pretty good and,
Right.
and can play high school baseball.
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is hopefully some of these kids that are starting out in the coach pitch to move on up and be playing varsity baseball one day. So we actually, started. I've got to know Scott Sarge out there pretty. Started to get to know him. We actually had a coaches clinic where we had some of our coaches go meet with him to know what he's looking for, what kind of things he's teaching them, so we can kind of all be on the same page.
So businesses sponsor the teams, and they buy the youngsters their uniforms, and
Yes, we have 22 total teams
Okay.
and 21 total team sponsors. And then on top of that, then we also offer a banner sponsor if a team doesn't want to, or if a business still wants to be involved and maybe not have as much money involved, then they can just get a banner to hang on the fence. Any business who's a team sponsor also gets a banner hung on the fence as
Good.
well.
good.
Yeah. All of the sponsor names this year are on the front of the jerseys. We tried to match colors up. All of the teams we use Major League Baseball, so the Reds and the Red Sox and the Yankees, so they get a nice official Major League Baseball hat. And then we did the uniforms so that the colors match up, but the business gets their name on the front of the shirt. So
Good.
that was good for them.
I know you work real well with the Parks Department. How do they help you?
Of course, they provide the fields, step one, and then work real good and just making sure it's a good experience for everyone down there, making sure things are safe. They definitely during the season they can take care of all the mowing for us.
Yes.
Take care of all the trash and any sort of necessary repairs down there to the complex. So
is Daryl Drew involved?
yep,
with
I
you?
work. Yeah, Daryl is my contact at the parks. Yeah, Daryl and I
Okay.
work together. Yep.
Okay. Good deal. The T-ball thing, do you guys run that or?
The parks run
Okay.
T-ball. Yeah, the parks
Okay.
still run the T-ball and softball. We just run the Cal Ripken, the coach pitch and up.
How many volunteers do you have? How many people help you, Keith?
On the board right now, we currently have 14 on the actual baseball Babe Ruth board down there. That doesn't mean we don't have many other volunteers.
Sure.
So 22 teams. There's at least probably roughly 3 to 4 coaches per team, plus just all the other people that are down there helping us out. So there's hundreds of people that are down there helping us get this thing kicked off.
Do you play any out-of-town teams, or is that postseason?
We actually have set up in so far just in one age group. It seems like you talked about soccer kind of takes away, and maybe basketball as they get a little bit older, they maybe get into just doing one sport versus specializing. So, to start out, coach pitch, we have 8 teams. We get up to our next age, we have 6, and then we get up to the next 2 groups, only have 4 teams in each. So that's generally where I know the 11s and 12s have set up to play some Brookville teams. So that way they'll be doing some traveling here, and we'll be doing some traveling down there to play.
About, I'm going to say about 15 years ago when I was involved, I remember we would go to Centerville and play, and we would go to Cambridge City and play, and they would come down, but I'm a little foggy when that was. I know that you have at the end of the season you have some traveling all-stars and that type of thing, but it seems to me like it was just our regular teams that were playing some of those leagues from other cities, and they weren't necessarily, as I recall, affiliated with Cal Ripken or Babe Ruth, but we played them.
Right, and that's what we're doing with our majors division. That's basically just looking to add some more teams, some more competition. We haven't gone further than that yet. I've just kind of started getting some contact information for that. Starting to get some people to ask, if we can just play some games here and there, like I said, maybe not even tournament, but just individual games, scrimmages, etc., to get ready for those all-star tournaments. But yeah, and after the season, the season will be over by July 4th.
Okay.
The first 2 weekends in July are set for Babe Ruth to do the state tournament. So basically we have to have our season pretty much wrapped up. Whatever all-star teams we have going to play in tournaments, that they need to be picked and uniforms ready, and hopefully maybe play at least some scrimmages or practice games and get ready to go play in a tournament the first weekend of July. Don't know where that'll be yet. It's there used to be a Southern and Northern Indiana Babe Ruth, and then they split up and put a Central Division. I don't know how many years that was, 10 or 12 years maybe. Well, they've gone back to just a Southern and Northern Babe Ruth division for Indiana. So they're still kind of working out the kinks on where we'll be playing and where those tournaments will be hosted. There's still a chance that maybe we could get one of those tournaments here. One negative of that is since we're in the Southern Division, the cutoff line is I-70.
Okay.
So we're the farthest kind of northeast away from everybody.
That's right.
So that makes it hard for traveling.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would
It's good for the community, though. When
we
host those.
Right.
Shows a positive side of Connersville and
Right.
helps our merchants. And
Yep, exactly. So we're still put in for them, but they haven't decided yet. So
Good.
yeah.
Good.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to host something. So how the All-Stars, how does that come about?
You can put in, we'll put in, depending on what coaches think as far as age groups. There's usually like an 8U, a 9U, 10U,
Okay.
11 and 12. Last year, the 9s and 10s maybe combined together a little bit, depending on what coaches thought, we had as far as numbers of 10s and 9s. There'll be a separate tryout for that, kind of recommended by the coaches on maybe who should try out and go on that team. It's open to everyone, though. This is a team that's going to go probably either, we'll have hosting other teams here, or if they're going to other places, going to represent Connersville. So we go, when they go, we're Connersville. They're not the Reds. When they go there, the Red Sox, they'll be the Connersville, Spartans when we go
Okay.
represent. So that, like I said, that'll start. We'll hopefully have those teams kind of selected, coaches and kids, by the end of this month, so they can start kind of getting together and practicing and playing too, so to get ready to go play in tournaments. So yeah.
You have a problem getting enough officials for these games?
So far
Good.
we haven't had any issues with that. So we have someone on the board that's their job is just to kind of contact those officials. Rainouts can be tough, to cancel and get people on different days, but no, so far that's we've been pretty.
What are the requirements to be an official?
Depends on what age group, I guess. Not as much for the younger age group as it is the older. So the older age groups, so we have certified umpires versus the younger minor A, minor B divisions are just to kind of get with us and there's going to be there's actually going to be high school kids umpiring some of those younger kids this year.
Good deal.
So, yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
Just you work with them a little bit and tell them what your expectations are, what the strike zone is. And
Exactly
that type of
right.
thing,
Yep. Put some expectations on them. We've already kind of had some of them down during. We kind of have the coaches let us know when we're going to have some scrimmage games, so they can come out and we can work with them and
That's good.
let them know what we.
That's
what
good.
we want.
And that's good because I know as those youngsters from high school are doing that, when they get a little older, IHSA is having a hard time sometimes finding officials, and,
Right.
and maybe that will spark some
Yeah.
interest in those guys of wanting to go on and do that, for the older kids.
Right.
That's good to know if you want to become an official. Some of our viewers might be watching. What do they do? Just contact you? Or?
Yeah, I guess it would be easy. So that would be probably the first point of contact, and then we can go from there.
And you have a website, don't you?
We don't have a website, but I did want to throw this out there too for everyone. We've created a Facebook page this year.
Okay.
So Connersville Babe Ruth Baseball. So we do have a Facebook page. We're trying to use that, use that as a venue to get information out to people. I'm not a personal Facebook user myself, but we have another volunteer that's helping us out with that. And I just kind of say, hey, ask her if she can post things for us, and that's great. We'll have schedules posted on there. Any information when we were doing registrations and sign-ups and cleanup day, and when we're going to probably try to use it for rainouts too. A lot of people like to use Facebook, so put it on Facebook when we rainouts and make
It's amazing how quickly things can spread.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we do have that Facebook page.
What's the top age group? Well, how old do the youngsters this year play? What will be? Are they 15, 16?
Yeah, 15.
15.
Yeah,
Okay.
15. Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
it. Yeah, last year there was a 16 to 18 team that wasn't actually chartered under Babe Ruth. It was more of just they put it together themselves. So I'm kind of still open to that if someone wants to head that up. So we may put that together again. But as far as Babe Ruth goes, yeah, we'll start at 15 is when we're stopped. So.
It seems like we used to have, and you may be aware of this, American Legion baseball for that age group, and
right.
That's gone away here, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
it seems
I don't
like
know if that's still in existence
around
the state.
Yeah, I don't hear much about American Legion. It was big when I was growing up too. Legion ball was the big thing. So, but not as much anymore.
See.
Did it involve high school kids? Or could they play like high school, or were the youngsters that didn't make the team?
I think it was some that chose not to play or were not on
Okay.
the team.
I
As I
remember
recall,
that.
but maybe some of it was after the high school season they could play too.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think that was part of it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Once that season was over. Well, Keith, looks like you've got a really good organization, and they work real well. I know it's a lot of kids take advantage. Fans turn out real well, and you can spend a night down there. You got a concession stand.
Yep, have concessions. Yeah, come down and eat dinner and watch some good baseball. So, yeah.
As I recall, the concessions were pretty good. I didn't get this
Yeah. Yep.
from not eating that kind
That's
of
right.
food, and it seems like I eat too much of it. But those volunteers that do that, I mean, it is totally a volunteer effort down there. That those people work hard.
Right. Oh.
You have both ladies as well as guys, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a couple. I have to throw this out there. I would not be able to do this as well, or as what I feel as well that we're running right now without my wife as the secretary on the board. So yeah, she definitely. Maybe she's the president behind the scenes, maybe a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, my wife's the secretary on the board. We have our treasurer is also Michelle Counselor. She's on the board as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of ladies down there helping us out. So yep.
And girls on the team?
There are a few. Not as many. But there are a few that come out more in the younger divisions,
Right.
In the Babe Ruth or in the minor B coach pitch division. Yeah, we have some out there. So that choose to play baseball instead of softball yet, and then maybe transition to softball as they get older.
So there is softball play down there too?
That's run through the Parks Department as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There is Babe Ruth softball, but so far we've not gone that route yet to do softball.
Yeah. What's your experience? Did you come up through the ranks here to become president, or?
I actually joined the board last year right at the beginning. I mean, pretty much opening day.
And
I kind of joined the board. I kind of showed some interest and just from there just had some fun and wanted to get more involved, and at the end of the season just kind of put my name in the hat.
It's good. I thought maybe you missed a meeting. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You don't show up at a meeting.
You weren't here.
You're appointed to something
Right.
often.
So-
I thought maybe that's the way it happened.
Not this time. Yeah. So,
You have youngsters that play?
I do. I have two boys, actually, because we said we have some 5-year-olds play. One of those 5-year-olds playing in Coach Pitch is one of my
Okay.
boys. I've got a 5 and a 7-year-old. So I'm down in the coach pitch division. So
Those are fun guys.
oh yeah, yep. So we had our second scrimmage yesterday. So
Good.
and teams coming together well. So
Now, do they start with T-ball or what?
yeah, my boy
Do they-
started in T-ball.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, but my
Okay.
one boy played 3 years, and then the other one played 2 years before we moved up. So yeah, so I kind of started the same way. I played baseball from when I was 5-year-old. I didn't play T-ball. They didn't really have T-ball back then. So 5-year-old coach pitched all the way up to high school ball. So yeah, mixed some other sports in the middle, but baseball was my primary sport too. So
Did you play baseball in high school?
yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd you do? What was your batting average?
I was a good pitcher. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I hit okay, but I was a pitcher. So yeah. So
Would you be interested in the Cincinnati Reds? I mean, they could probably.
They need some help.
well, they got rid of all their pitchers. Yeah. So
Created an opening for you, man.
that's right. Yeah.
Seem to be using bullpen pitchers for starters. I mean, I
Right.
don't know what's going on down there, but hopefully they'll get it straightened out before long. But well, it's been real great to have you here to talk
Yeah,
a little bit about
it's been fun.
Babe Ruth and the season coming up. And best of luck with the weather and
Yes, I hope so.
everything,
Yes.
because that can be a real problem. I know Brent Duncan is going around in circles right now trying to make up ball games at other
Yes, he
events that
is.
have been postponed
Right.
because of the weather.
That he is. You know, free admission down there, so
Yes.
good, clean, fun entertainment at no cost.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that today. I mean, really, to go watch a good baseball game, you'd have to drive at least a half an hour, or an hour to go to Indy or down to Cincinnati. So if you just like baseball and come down, I mean, there's going to be some good baseball played down there this year.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
There are some good
Well.
games, and if we can talk our guy that manages here to do some of the games, why we hope that TV3 will be on the
Yeah.
scene and do some games for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
I know you'll appreciate it very much. Anything you'd like to say in closing here? Do you need any help from more people, or
Going forward, I think we're in good shape to start the season off.
good?
Yeah, the hardest part is going to be dealing with the weather, dealing with the rain. So we have
Yes.
some grounds crew members that come down and help us, can get the fields ready during the day. But Andy, we'll take any volunteer help we can get to come down there. So, but I appreciate coming on the show and letting us talk about Babe Ruth. Everyone down there is very proud of what we do down there. The kids have a great time, and that's of course what it's for. It's for the kids.
Right.
So we want to do whatever we can to give them a good experience down there.
I'm glad you have sponsors. Do you have any problem getting sponsors? Or?
For the most part, people are very generous. So it's very good. So it's a lot of work going around and talking to all the sponsors and telling them what we need and why we need it. But for the most part, everyone is very open and generous.
Pretty
So.
giving community.
Right. Yes. This was my first year to have to kind of go around and do that, and I was very pleased with the way everyone was open and to help us out.
And that's all the money you get, the operating money. You make a profit of concessions, but other than that,
Yeah, we have our concessions. We try to do some fundraisers. Throw that out there. We'll have some cards going around that give some discounts at local businesses. So we'll have our name, Connersville Babe Ruth, on the back. So we sell those. That helps us generate some income. We do charge a fee for the kids to play. That basically just, like I say, helps cover our costs. It's a nonprofit. I mean, it's amazing the amount of money it does cost to run the league. So
yes.
But yeah, without those sponsors, it couldn't happen. So definitely gonna opening day, thank them, and definitely when you're down there looking, look on the fences. Every sign you see on the fence is someone who donated money to us.
And you began the season, back in January and February when you guys start? Seems like you start planning early.
Yeah, about the first of the year. Yeah, about the first of the year is when we have to really start getting it going. So.
Keith Barrows has been our guest here tonight. He's president of the Connersville Babe Ruth. We want to thank him for coming. We will hope you will see the parade on Saturday and watch some games at the Babe Ruth Complex here in Connersville. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3.